Aloha, hoku, ohana. We are at Luxor Temple. I'm just going to take you guys on a tour and then we have some messages, but I'm going to let you enjoy the view real quick and look at what I'm looking at. Okay, so the first message that's coming out is surface, which talks about there's a lot more I'm hearing happening behind the veil for you when it comes to invisible forces that are, I'm hearing like streamlining different currents of information for you to actually take action towards something that requires you to move forward with faith. Okay, and faith is to be sure of what it is that you want and certain of the things that you cannot see, but the things in which you can foresee that go beyond the surface. And then you also have stratus pause here, which talks about you being in a transitional stage where you're witnessing the becoming, right, of something that has already came to be in a linear fashion. But yeah, stratus pause basically talks about being at a temporary transition phase where there is an illusion of separation between you and also what it is that you want, okay? And moving toward with that desire, not towards it. Let me show you anyway. And then you also had the Ace of Cups, which basically talks about, look how beautiful this is. You also had the Ace of Cups, which talks about you actually loving yourself into this change instead of shaming yourself into this change as well. Okay, so I'm hearing kind of giving yourself grace at this stage in your life as well, and seeing how not only you are changing, I'm seeing you kind of like morph and shift and grow and evolve into this new version of self, because you're now, I'm seeing like kind of molding this clay or reshaping yourself. You could be also, it feels like a repurposing of some kind, so there could be something that you're repurposing that you've been doing, or even if that's yourself in some way, but again, it's like you're loving yourself into this change. Look. And then the other message that came out around you is, let me find it real quick. As you can see, I'm just doing this on the go, right? We had the Akashic library and the Akashic records, which is basically the interconnected database that stores a living memory of all organisms, every, I'm hearing, version of yourself that has already been, every version of yourself that will be, and every version of yourself that is. And this is where the human condition lives. You're actually looking at life through the eyes of the soul. And it's a beautiful life, right? It's almost like I'm hearing you're dreaming a new world into being, right? You're dreaming a new life into being. I just wanted to show you this. Just stunning, right? I'm hearing this is actually how people are looking at you. Anyway, I had some interesting messages. We had 555 there on the clock, but it talks about you freeing yourself. And as you show up for yourself in the present moment, right? In the eternal now, you also show up for all past versions of yourself. And I'm also seeing your ancestral historical timeline, because again, this is also the memory of your ancestors and how well they lived according to that love or fear. So I feel like you're releasing any fear when it comes to creating your life the way you want. And also, I'm just seeing you recreate yourself. There's something about a repurposing that's been coming through, or a recreation, where you're coming back to your limitless nature and you're removing any perceived limitations, and you're realizing life is not about finding your limits, but it's about coming back to your limitless nature. And the only way you can do that is through, first of all, experiencing the illusion of there being any limits. That's what I'm seeing for you, okay? And it's like you're breaking free from this shell of who you were either taught to be or who you believed yourself to be. I'm hearing how you've operated based off of survival is very different than how you operate in this next season of thriving, which is really beautiful as well. And yeah, I'll show you. And these could be other points of cosmic origins, because again, you have the sun disk as well, right? Which you can see on the head, which is a brown or red dwarf star. So it's like you're seeing life on Earth through many versions of yourself that are sourced from other cosmic points of origins, right? Other bioplasma beings. Look. Anyway, it talks about this version of self that had been created, or maybe even like mutated or morphed to try to fit in, or it could have been maybe a personality that was created based off survival, right? Like a survival mechanism when navigating this matrix, where you felt like you had to do more life, or you felt like you had to reduce yourself in some way, but that is coming to an end, okay? And let me find it. The message that was coming through in the astral was almost, you know, Easter, Sunday and Monday, and Christ being reborn and recovering that egg, right? Where you're kind of breaking free from a shell of who you've been. And I'm hearing this shell is a bunch of accumulated thought forms, or this shell is almost a bunch of, I'm hearing like heavy mass or weight that had kept you kind of confined to a box. Maybe that box was created by people who are afraid, right, to go outside of the box. So there could be something that you're doing that's outside of the box as well. That's also another message. But yeah, it's like you're breaking free of the shell of who you thought yourself to be, right? Reinforced thoughts, right, that create thought forms in your field that I'm hearing kind of block or create stagnancy when it comes to the flow of life force, right? Being able to run through you freely and extend into everything that you do in this realm. So this could be where there's been perceived limitations that have, I'm hearing kind of clouded your vision, okay? That's also what I'm seeing, clouded your vision in some way, but that's clearing, okay? As you're clearing this heavy debris, you're ascending into a high octave and also a higher plane of existence where you can move more fluidly through this existence, coming back to your non-physical nature. That's also another message that was coming through. And it's like you're hatching from this shell of who you've been. That's what it seems like. You're hatching free in some way, and there's like a rebirth or a null process that you're going through. And then I also saw the gifts are all around you and also within you. And one of you had said, like in the comments the other day, you were like, open sesame, and I was seeing that as like your guides with the, like, you know, open sesame. This next phase is going to be so fluid without you really having to do anything at all. I'm seeing like a chick as well inside the egg that's been like kind of poking at the shell and been creating these different cracks, and I'm seeing these are like compromised foundations, and maybe these are how you functioned or operated within this realm, utilizing or holding on to certain belief systems, and that foundation is compromised now, and there's a new foundation that you're laying, one that supports huge aspirations for yourself. I'm also seeing like huge future visions as well. But yeah, it's a beautiful energy. It's like you're hatching free from this shell of who you thought yourself to be, to return to all that you ever have been. And let me see, do you have anything else that came through? Oh yeah, and then you had the moon and death and rebirth, right? Which basically talks about you releasing. Death is about, you know, a transference or recycling of energy, where you're no longer recycling the same kind of experiences or the same thoughts. You're reinforcing new ways of being, which are basically breaking down these old synapses that have been formed within your internal networks, right? And you're creating these new synapses through this new repetition, where I'm hearing it may feel like you're kind of breaking a habit of who you used to be, right? And you're kind of holding space for that version of self. And again, those thoughts may come, but it's like you're reshaping that, you're repurposing it, you're remolding it into a higher octave. And that death, again, is where it gives you a glimpse into a new dimension, a new frequency, a new thought that also holds a new frequency behind it, right? That allows you to enter into new dimensions, new frequencies of yourself, new octaves of yourself, new dimensions within yourself, right? It's like you're being able to see how you can hold space for yourself in that way, right? Especially when it comes to the human, most importantly, like the human's journey, and being able to also observe those thoughts and be really self-aware in regards to which ones are actually supportive, and where you can create a highly conducive environment via your mind, right? Yeah, I'm hearing how you can support even a human's journey on Earth. But yeah, it's allowing you to enter into new dimensions, frequencies, vectors, where new stories get to play out in your life, because now reality is beginning to reconfigure itself to correspond and mirror the internal shift that has happened within you. And that's so funny as well, because I literally spoke about this just today, on the day that I'm recording this. I said that a life-changing opportunity is heading your way, and it's because you're unlocking new doors, right, of vast potential within yourself, and you're seeing this now be mirrored in your external reality simply because it's a mirror of the internal growth. I'm hearing sprout, okay, that you've gone through. But yeah, I'm seeing something spring to the surface as well. So it's almost like this new you is emerging from this show. That's the energy that's coming through. But yeah, let's continue moving. Usually I don't come like in the middle of the day. I come like very early morning to the temples, but I'm on the way to Aswan today, so I wanted to make a quick pit stop. I don't want to get... I was like, everyone's walking in that direction. I don't know why. I'm walking somewhere completely different now. That could be how you feel, right? Maybe the way that you're walking or the way that you're moving through this existence is completely different. Yeah, it's beautiful Colin's hair. It's just... yeah, I'm glad I came. I've been to Luxor quite a few times, but I never went to Luxor Temple and had a choice between where I want to go today. Oh, I'm glad I get to bring you with me. It's beautiful. And then even here, right, you can see this is like the central sun, right, which is like the main source energy, plasma, right, that has fractalized itself into different states of awareness. And I'm hearing these different states of awareness are becoming fully conscious of themselves through many different domains, but it's all an interconnected database where sources split itself and fractalize itself into infinite, many different subdivisions existing in many different universes, many different dimensions that all take on and manifest different distinct life forms or archetypal manifestations that are manifested due to the natural laws of that physical environment or that vibrational frequency or dimensional density, right? I just saw let me show you if I can catch a coach that said planet, and I heard I just landed from another atmosphere. I don't know if you can see that. So it's almost like there is a new you emerging or landing from another atmosphere that sees no limitations or bounds. Yeah, it feels like first and foremost you're breaking free from yourself, okay? or breaking free from yourself, or ways that you had operated in this realm. Oh, come on. Yeah, I always find this part very interesting because you can see how there's huge beings and then there's also smaller beings. Look. And you can see it here as well. Small. And then big. It's fascinating, isn't it? And you can see the blue beings as well, right? Blue skin. Can you see that? Literally blue skin. Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder, right? Like, what is the density or realm or dimension in which their cells originate from in order to take form or shape or manifest through this very distinct life form, right? I'm hearing, and this is just one of many expressions of yourself as well. One of many. And then you can see how they're feeding them the key of life, right? Which is about the alchemical marriage between the physical, the divine masculine, and also the non-physical aspect of yourself, the divine feminine, right? Between the subconscious and the subconscious mind, and then being able to merge and come into that reunification, which creates the third, right? The triad, that mastery over the mind, masculine, electrical, right? As a bioelectrical being, and then also the emotions, the divine feminine, right? You talk about heart, mastery over the mind, mastery over the emotions, is the mastery over the physical realm, right? The triad, the third, which talks about mastery over matter. Again, it's a constant reminder, reality isn't static, it's a continuous summation of infinite quantum paths, each encoded as a wave of probability, and it's about them taking action, right, to support the non-physical aspects, intentions, before incarnating into this physical, lower, dense realm. And as they take action towards it, it collapses through the space-time continuum into a third-dimensional experience. Even this is like the reminder, right? You have the red or brown dwarf star on her head, right? A bioplasma being. literally a bioplasma being that can cross over between both realms, right? The higher densities, right? Matter oscillating in a high octave, and then also in this lower realm where they can cross over and engage with the third dimensional realm to assist and remind the human, right? You can see the human about their non-physical essence and their other points of origin, to remind them that this is not all there is. I'm hearing there's so much more of you. And they're showing me the dark energy card as well, which basically talks about your full potential is yet to be discovered. It basically talks about there's so much more for you to be discovered, but it requires you to turn on a black light. And then the black light in the metaphysical realm basically represents higher bandwidths of frequency light that you're able to attune into, right? Utilizing your primary antenna, right? Your multi-sensory perception system to be able to actually perceive wider ranges, right? Or broader ranges of the light spectrum that go beyond what this vessel can see. So your vision could be opening up as well, where you're looking at life through the eyes of the soul. Yeah. Because I'm seeing when you look at life through the eyes of the human, sometimes all you can see is limits. But when you look at life through the eyes of the soul, you see your limitless nature in this realm. And when you come back to that knowing and that remembrance in this experience before your departure, then you unlock the incredible potential of the human vessel and being able to utilize that as a tool for your initial intentions before this incarnation. Yeah, that's going to be it, guys. I'm just literally making a pit stop before I hit my next location, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for coming with me. Keep doing what it is that you're doing, and beautiful things will emerge as a result of that. It already is, and you already are. Beautiful versions of yourself are emerging. Until next time, bye. And even with the Sphinx, okay, all the Sphinxes, there is this air of, wow, look at this. Royal energy that's coming through, also Lyra energy that's coming through, which talks about a celestial invitation that you have, okay? It's like you're being granted a celestial invitation in some way. Look at all the dogs. The dogs are keepers of the temple themselves. They're protectors. Look at him. Look at that. Wow. Look. And what's funny is that the scarab beetle, they talk about it moves between the realms of the dead and the living, right? The physical and the non-physical aspects. And then you have Isis, right? In the Wings of Protection, talks about the divine feminine and high octaves of yourself that are guiding, protecting, and I'm hearing aligning you, but you have to be able to trust that intercommunication that's happening as well. Oh, Shusha. Hello, Shusha. Hello, sir. You're so dirty. Why? Oh. Shusha. Shusha boosha. Shusha, shusha, shusha. Shusha, shusha, shusha. I wish I had some water with me to give him. Yeah. It's like you're also being carried forth. And I was seeing a Moses restaurant as well on the way here, which talks about you being carried by water because he was carried on a 𝓤𝓫. So it's like you're being streamlined literally right towards a new beginning. So trust where the current is taking you, even if it feels like an invisible current is kind of taking you away into another realm or aspect or dimension within yourself. That's coming to light as well. But yeah, anyway, it's like a new density. Look at all the doggies. Yeah. That's beautiful, guys. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, and even the snakes and the serpents, you can see or hear the cobras, right? At the top, can you see that? And the sun disk on their head. Yeah, man. You may be in this world, but you are not of this world. So don't try to fit in. Bring your otherworldly nature and anchor that into this gameplay experience. It would also change the way that you interact with this cosmic overlay, right? I'm hearing because you're playing under a different set of instructions. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I'm seeing like glitches as well in code, so you could definitely be a glitch in this system, for sure. Or something that you're doing kind of goes against the grain or the status quo. And it's because you're looking within. You know what that is? I'm seeing it as you're looking within, and because you're doing that, you're finding yourself instead of looking without. This construct, the matrix, is designed to externalize your life force or your energy, okay? That's the energy that's coming through. It's like an inversion for you to look outside of yourself and allow the external stimuli or what's going on outside of yourself when it comes to the chaos to disrupt you and kind of divert your attention from that cosmos. But I'm hearing you're kind of disrupting that externalization of your energy and you're coming back to yourself. And as you do that, you come back and remember your eternal presence. I'm seeing one timeless consciousness that continues to transfer itself into different bodies, right? But all continue to walk the same path.